New McMinn Central head football coach J.T. Ostrowski. And Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Did we hit the name pronunciation like we talked about earlier today?
Hey, guys, I appreciate y'all bringing me on, man. Yeah, man, you hit it right on the nail. I appreciate that.
Now, I think you're also known as Coach O. So if we can call you Coach O, can we get a Coach Ed Orgeron impression from you if we ever have questions for you in the future?
No, it's funny. I can't do a good impersonation, but my wife, she loves doing that impersonation. She's all about, she'll mumble and she'll go Tigers at the end. She's all about it.
I love it. I think anything you can mumble, anything, and then you got go Tigers, right? For sure, it definitely applies. Well, let's talk about your new opportunity at McMinn Central. Just kind of talk about the process involved, and you, obviously the job opened up, and you applied for it. So, kind of talk about just the genesis of the process there to ultimately getting offered and accepting the job to be the new head coach at McMinn Central.
Yeah, man, it's really kind of been a whirlwind. I really appreciate, Coach Moody. So a little background on myself. So I've lived in the area since 2016. My wife is actually from here. She's a graduate of McMinn Central High School. Loves to brag about how she's the homecoming queen and everything like that. So when we got married in 2016, we have always put roots in the McMinn County area and especially the Etowah area. And so, man, I've been a little bit of different places. And, my last high school stop was actually I was the offensive coordinator up at Fulton High School up in Knoxville. I was driving from Athens to Knoxville for a little bit, for about a year and a half for the 2022 season and the 23 season. And, of course, in 2022, we had Marcellus Jackson, who won Mr. Football for the 4A classification in Tennessee. And when our head coach, Jeff McMillan, stepped down and retired from coaching and teaching after the 23 season, took a little, harder look at getting closer back to the area. So, I had spoken with Drew over at Walker Valley about getting in over there, and the only opening he had was actually at his feeder program at the middle school. So, I did that this past year for the 2024 season. But through FCA, Etowah region, got to coach an all-star game with the Etowah region around the Fannin County area with the local FCA team for Tennessee against the Georgia All-Stars, and got to coach with Coach Moody for a little bit in that and help him with the offense. And, we have known each other for a couple of years, have built a relationship. So when he was doing his thing, he kind of put a little bug in my ear about, hey, I'm probably going to get this job over at Etowah. Would you be interested? And I said, yeah, kind of have interest. And he said, well, good. I've already kind of told the AD about you. And so that kind of got the ball rolling. And, man, how luck have it, I was off of the job last week, and it's been a whirlwind trying to, get everything going, meeting everybody with all these weather days, but it's been good, really good so far. So I really appreciate, Coach Moody and Coach Massengale for bringing me on.
Now, Coach, you say your wife likes to say she won the homecoming queen, but I know you also like to say, probably more so, that you married the homecoming queen. So,
100%.
Right. So let's put that straight. And my wife would say that, you talk about going from middle school to high school for that opportunity as a head coach. My wife would say I still act like a middle schooler. What is it like coaching? What do you think? What do you expect the difference is to be the head coach as a high schooler as opposed to some of these middle school guys?
Man, it's really good. So the kids at Etowah, man, they're great kids. And so getting back into the high school, the biggest thing is, again, just the motivation that's there for those guys. It's in the middle school where we were at, we didn't really have a conference that we played for. So you're just really just playing 8 games, and kids they just kind of go through the motion. They know they play 8 games and it's done, and they're off to basketball season. And so to get back into the high school realm was very important to me, and just having that motivation, that daily motivation of, hey, you got a big region game right here. You got, you're playing for something. You're playing for state playoffs, and McMinn Central is on a 3-year playoff streak, and so we kind of really want to continue that. So you're looking forward to getting back and having some, Friday nights and that feel of Friday nights is special in a small town, and just that feeling and that motivation of, there's something to play for. There's something of importance.
Yeah, no doubt about that for sure. So you mentioned you're very familiar with the Etowah area. You talk about just that community and the support you get. Kind of talk about that aspect there. And most importantly, Justin and I have been to this establishment once, and that is the Farmhouse restaurant. Talk about that. What is your go-to like post-game or Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon meal after a football game? It's got to be the Farmhouse, right?
Well, Farmhouse is great. A little tidbit, they actually catered our wedding in 2016.
Look at there.
Those people are awesome. Hey, a little plug, too. The Etowah Farmhouse is better than the Cleveland Farmhouse. I will die on that hill.
There we go.
There it is.
I will say it. But no, man, they're great. This whole community, man, there is something that is special about a small town and a community that is supportive of their school and everything they do. It's not just football. They support them in girls basketball, baseball, soccer, everything. So it's really important, and that kind of motivates you as a head coach. And you tell your kids one of our core values is, when I talked to the kids last Friday, is pride. And people are proud to be from Etowah, they're proud to be from Inglewood, and they're proud to go to McMinn Central High School. And so that means something.
Coach, coming in kind of as an offensive path to get here, you're stepping in as a head coach, and you're kind of early in the stuff, obviously, already. But what do you kind of expect to fill in the rest of your staff, and what does that process look like? And what do you kind of have to delegate going from being maybe an assistant mindset to a head coaching position?
Yeah, it's a lot. So I actually met with the staff today. Moody did a really good job the last 4 years. They're coming off winning 14 games the last 2 seasons, a couple playoff wins, and he had a really good staff intact, and we're keeping a lot of that staff intact. Met with him today, and so I think it was really good to after I met with them, you have a coach like Josh Gooden, who's been the head coach at McMinn Central before. And when he was head coach, they won 10 games in 2014. And so he's been at it where it's been the highs of highs and kind of understand what it's like to be in that chair. So having that type of person on staff with you and kind of in your foxhole as a younger head coach, I mean, that's a tremendous get. And, another one is our quarterback coach, again, James Carr, that, was kind of Moody's right-hand man on offense. Keeping him on staff and keeping that staff intact is a huge asset. And, I look forward to working with those guys, met with them today, and just kind of really, kind of introducing and letting them get to know me and kind of what I'm about. And I told them, hey, this thing's not broke. We're in a good spot. I'm just kind of filling in where Coach Moody has left, and, kind of going to put my spin on some things and, philosophically how to do things. Me and Coach Moody were very similar offensive minds. And so, you kind of offensive side, I think we're good. There's some needs on defense because he's taking some defensive coaches with him down to Etowah. And so, we'll figure that out and we're working towards that, but feel very confident of the staff we got right now in place.
Well, we can't wait to see the continuation of success for McMinn Central. Coach O, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, brother. And looking forward to covering your team in 2025 and beyond. Congrats on the opportunity, and let's get together at the Farmhouse sometime whenever we're up in Etowah.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll definitely make it happen.